some recent announcements from Jeff Loeb about a bunch of Marvel TV shows. Now, I want to make one thing very clear. We're going to have two phrases that we're going to say. We're going to say either Marvel TV or MCU shows. They are not the same thing per se. They are connected kind of, but MCU shows are going to be the Disney Plus originals that are going to have a much more direct line to the Marvel movies, whereas Marvel TV falls more under Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Runaways, Cloak and Dagger, and then the Netflix show. So slightly lower budget. They may connect with themselves, but they usually don't have
There's a lot of debate about those Netflix shows.
About the budget for them?
No, about them being Marvel TV.
Oh, they are still. We'll get to that.
They might still, like the old shows might be, but those characters sound like they're gonna be popping up all over in the MCU stuff.
It's possible. And that's the other thing that I wanted to bring up to you about why I wanted to bring up Marvel TV and MCU shows, is because one of the things that Jeff Loeb has said is, I guess, so like the theory of why this wasn't a thing like from before, from everything that we're now learning about Netflix, about like the way they were running things, it seems like one of the more bigger obstacles they had with the Defenders shows about putting them in the MCU movies, it might have actually been Netflix itself not wanting those characters outside their platform. They may have had more like control over the characters than we once thought, but these were details that Marvel wasn't allowed to release or wouldn't release in order to keep, again, because Kevin Feige likes to keep good relationships with other people that he works with.
But I'd also take these comments with a huge grain of salt.
Oh yeah.
We've seen a lot of outright false statements come from Disney lately. I'm not willing to trust anything Disney or even Kevin Feige says about properties that aren't directly under their control and have always been. I've kind of still love Kevin Feige as a creator. I've lost any faith in what he says though.
But this wasn't from Kevin Feige. This was more from Jeff Loeb. And with what he's been saying recently, it sounds like there's a lot less obstacles when it comes to doing these crossovers. So the way
But that's also what the company would want him to say.
It's possible, yeah.
Like the company would be making more money off of him saying that statement as opposed to anything else he could have said.
But it also made sense to me because, like, when you think about it, how, like, now that Disney owns a good chunk of Hulu, way more than they had before, them crossing over Runaways with Cloak and Dagger is now, like, easy for them. It's why they were really excited to announce that immediately at the end of Cloak and Dagger. So that's happening. And it also means that because, you know, it's a good chunk of it's owned by Disney, it's not too far-fetched, I don't think, to say that a lot of what we're going to see coming to Hulu, which includes the Ghost Rider TV show and then Hellstorm TV show, it's possible that we could see those characters in the MCU shows as well, along with the MCU movies.
We might be able to see the characters, but I don't think we're going to have really significant crossovers. Part of the reason is that they have also made comments about, specifically, there will never be anything R-rated on Disney+. And because of that, I think they're going to much more heavily rely upon Hulu to be where they keep their R-rated content. And given how protective Disney is, I don't see them mixing that content much.
Not much, but I could see them doing the more subtle crossovers like what you had with Daredevil and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like when you had, not Daredevil, well, technically Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. references like a few events from Daredevil, and then in Defenders,
that's not a crossover.
It's not a full-on crossover, but it's still like more than what you have currently with the MCU movies and the MCU shows. The only time the movies have ever like referenced the shows exist was in Endgame when you saw the same actor for Jarvis. Other than that, like it's like you would never even know they're connected if it wasn't for behind the scenes people saying they're connected.
They're connected, I swear. Look, we made a news article about the Avengers destruction. See, the movies are canon with us.
Yeah. Or sorry, I should say that, yeah, it's the first time in the movies that we've gotten confirmation the shows are canon. At least one of the shows.
Yeah, I don't know. I still don't trust anything they say. It doesn't matter to me who says it because it's Disney. Feige could say it, Loeb could say it, Abrams could say something. At this point, I have lost faith in the individuals in the process. When it comes to the big like nebulous stuff that we don't have concrete details on, unless it's a concrete detail and there's evidence for it, or they can prove themselves. I have lost a lot of the faith I had in the MCU directors talking about things off script.
I guess we'll have to wait until the Ghost Rider goes into WandaVision's TV show to know for sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that is probably, to my opinion, the most likely thing that we'll get. So I don't think it'll be like the closest thing we're going to get to a Defenders show now is going to be the Offenders, the animated side of the Hulu stuff.
I don't know. I think we might get another Defenders. It's just not going to be Defenders. It's probably going to be, they're probably going to do an A4 show at some point. Probably not with the big actors from the movies and stuff. Mm-hmm. It probably will consist of like the Miss Marvel and who knows, maybe one day Spider-Gwen. but I could see them doing another like team up thing that isn't Avengers. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you see them doing that team up though with already existing in the MCU characters, or with original characters for that show?
No, it would be already existing MCU characters. What? Yeah, they're not gonna invent new characters for a show.
No, not new, like as in like not made in Marvel Comics yet. But what I mean is like characters that haven't been in the MCU yet. Like, would it be... So now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it would be an A team. I think they do much more directly related to the Defenders, a Heroes for Hire team. Now that would be awesome.
I mean, the problem is that the Heroes for Hire have also like involved like Black Cat and stuff for years. So
they'd have to stray away from all the Spider-Man related stuff, of course.
Who knows? Maybe they're allowed to use. Well, maybe they're allowed to use some version of Felicia though. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's a version of Felicia that's usable.
It's possible, or they could just like they could have Marvel comic books make an original character similar to Black Cat.
You know what? That actually wouldn't be too much of a stretch.
And then say that's who it's based on.
So yeah, shockingly, this isn't too much of a stretch. For a while in the comics, Black Cat was treated just as a wholly new character, essentially. Her motivations didn't make any sense. She was a villain all of a sudden. She was just an evil bitch for some reason for a lot of the last like run. And only since the new another soft reboot of Spider-Man, only since the new one started has she kind of returned to her old character. Mm-hmm. I could totally see them explaining that massive fucking shift by saying that there was a second Black Cat, and now and then they'd give her like her own moniker, her own like super name, and she'd be a new character, and then they could put her on their current Heroes for Hire.
Oh my god, that would actually be, not gonna lie, that'd be funny as hell. All right. So, like, what do you think, last question, then we'll wrap this up. What do you think the thing that you're most excited about for Marvel TV? Not just Marvel TV, but MCU TV as well.
Yeah, Marvel MCU TV. Thing I'm most looking forward to is that Mandalorian show. Get it? Yes. Hey, just saying, Star Wars, published by Marvel Comics. Yeah. Honestly, I'm most curious about what they're going to do with Moon Knight right now.
Okay.
Moon Knight could go in a couple dramatically different ways, and I'm dramatically more interested in some of those ways than I am in anything else they've announced. That being said, if done well, She-Hulk will probably be my favorite because I'm just a big She-Hulk fan. Yeah.
I was definitely going to say She-Hulk, for me, is the thing I'm the most excited about right now, because I have no idea what direction they're going to take the show in, and they could either go classic comic way where she becomes like the MCU Deadpool, or they they could probably
Hey,
take it
MCU has Deadpool.
I know, but you know what I mean. Like the more age appropriate Deadpool, but they could also go in the more serious direction. And what I would love to see, and I think this would be like hilarious, if she's actually like a defense lawyer for superheroes. So you have like actors making cameos, like, and then her having to defend like some of their bad decisions they may have had to make.
Absolutely love for her to be directly tied to. I want it to be a legal show.
Yeah.
At its base, whether or not she does like crime fighting on the side, I want it to be like a legal, just a Marvel legal show with a huge green woman.
Yeah. Like a legal show first, superhero show second.
Right. Hell, I almost want them to go down like the Jessica Jones route and like not even make it a superhero show. Like the only thing that makes Jessica Jones a superhero show is her revenge plot against the Purple Man, and then, well, we're not going to talk about the other seasons. Season
3, now that I finished it, is not that bad.
I still haven't watched season 3.
I totally understand, because season 2 was so horrible. It was a fucking horrible show.
Season 2 was actually terrible.
Worse than Iron Fist, worse than Inhumans. There, I said.
I don't hate Iron Fist. Inhumans was an inhuman piece of garbage. I mean,
Jessica Jones season 2 was worse than Inhumans, just saying. But yeah, I think that'll wrap up this podcast.